Holy crappers. going on, everybody? How we doing? So I'm going to tell you a funny story off the bat in a second here. All right. So let me know if anybody, how I sound, and give me a thumbs up if I'm coming through. All good. And so funny story is, here I am, and a lot of you guys know that I don't know, maybe a few you know here that I've been doing the questions and the answers, and like the questions popping up on the screen through StreamYard, and then I would have them pop up by using like I did actually a video that I just did today. So if you're curious to see what I'm talking about, just jump on the YouTube video and you'll know what I'm talking about. How in OBS I set up the comments in from StreamYard. So StreamYard is free. We can use that for 20 hours a month for free. Does everybody know that? Does anyone here use StreamYard, or has anyone used StreamYard? And so it is free, and you can use it, and you can link up through OBS through what's called a custom browser dock. So if you go and check my latest video that just came out this morning at 11, it will explain how you can use StreamYard, which is free for 20 hours a month, and then be able to pull up the comments for everything. So Never Call Me Again podcast. Now I'm going to leave my comments up here, but here's the problem. I didn't get back to the mess up for today. So here I am, I'm rushing down here to come down, and I realized that I did not set up my stream through StreamYard today. And so here I am looking, and I'm like, wait, my broadcast is not in StreamYard. And then I rushed really quick to jump over to YouTube to be able to get on here, because I booked this stream through YouTube. I didn't do it through StreamYard. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, it was my fault. It was a mess up. So today I'm not going to have the comments popping up on the screen, and I apologize, but we will have the comments in the replay on YouTube. So if you make a comment in there, I will take a look at it and talk about it, but it will not be popping up on screen. So I apologize for that. It was just a little mistake on my end, because I did not set it up through StreamYard. So how's everybody doing today in general? And I want to talk about, is anyone streaming here at all live, or does anyone have a YouTube page that they are using, or that they actually have active and running? If there's any questions you want to ask about the YouTube page, of some of the tech that you use to get started, or anything like that, we can ask a question. Or has anyone been streaming at all? Do you understand how to stream? And do you understand the several ways to stream? Because there are various ways to do it, depending on what your costs are, and what your availability is on things, and what kind of internet service you have in your area. And we can go on and on about those things. So Never Call Me Again Pod says, I am going to start streaming and have a YouTube page. Okay, Never Call Me Again podcast. So he is going to start streaming, but he's already using Ecamm. So we know that he's using a Mac, and he knows that he's got the proper stuff to be able to stream. That's for sure. And so he may just be getting some of his ways he may be streaming. So I wanted to say, like, you could use something simple like a Cam Link, or even one of these cheaper versions of a Cam Link that are good for 1080p at 30 frames per second. Is super cheap, and at least will get you starting, because I know everybody talks about like Canon, right? They have a free app. There's everybody, I don't know if anyone knows that, but almost every camera company is going to be coming out with a free app that they can use. And so you can stream through USB, and the resolution is quite low. So that's why I'm saying, I mean, you can do that and that's fine. But if you already have the camera, like say an M50, you could just easily just go and buy one of these for $15, and at least you got 1080p resolution. So that's a pretty big way to get started, very cheap. And then you could just basically pull that on as a capture card right into your OBS. Or if you're streaming through like StreamYard, then you just pull your camera right into there, and this will come up as a USB capture device. So yes, Canon works with Ecamm and vMix, and from what I know, if anyone is using an ATEM Mini, and I don't know if anyone here knows what that is, but an ATEM Mini is a switcher, right? A scene switcher, which is what I have on my desk here and right in front. So this is the ATEM Mini right here, and then I can switch between 4 different scenes, and this acts like a capture card. So this is good for 1080p, and then you can capture a couple different looks of your setup and how you run and operate things. So this is super useful, because just think if you had to buy one, Cam Link is about $100, and then that would be $400 plus tax, and then you can get this ATEM Mini with the switching device and the ability to pop yourself up in the corners, and for $300. So that could be really useful for you if you're not to the point. Otherwise, like when you have to do some funny things with an ATEM Mini when you pull it into Ecamm or vMix, because they're all about how many sources you can use, and then it affects some overlays. And I know there's like workarounds about that, but I am not there yet, but I'm maybe trying that next year. But I find that I can go pretty far with OBS. OBS really, I hear people talking about it, about how it's not so stable, or they have had problems. And so far, since day one, I have not really had any big issues with OBS and stability or anything like that. So I've been really comfortable with it in general, and it's not crashed on me in any way. And I just feel like it gives a lot of things that are useful to me to make a stream go a little bit nicer. So my intentions were to show you a couple of those things, but I could show you a couple things still. So Chris McCormick is here in the house, and then you have Never Call Me Again podcast, and he's saying, I use Ecamm with my M50 and my channel videos, need an ATEM Mini. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice plus, and if you can find one used for $200, I was lucky and I did pull that off. It was gone in a heartbeat, but that is such a nice thing to have, and it makes your life so much easier. Everything that you want to show, and make things run smoothly, the ATEM Mini really helps when you have a Rodecaster and that together. And then Chris says, Smart, when can I get a USB hardcover? I don't know what a USB hardcover is. Explain to me what you're talking about exactly. Are you talking about one of these USB capture cards? They cost like $15 for these kind. You plug it right in, and it's going to give you 1080p at 30 frames a second, which is what I'm running right now anyway. I know a lot of people like to say, oh yeah, you can want to run at 60 frames. You don't need to run at 60 frames per second, especially if you got, an internet service that isn't really so great right now because everybody's jumping on. Yeah, and I picked this up on Amazon. It's Digit Now is it's called. I have a video in this on my YouTube channel of this particular one with my M50. I'm showing video with it compared to the Camlink. So if you want to see what it looks like, just jump on there, watch the video, and then you'll realize for $15, I think I last saw it. And many other people have been using this because there was like over 200 good reviews. Otherwise, if you have the money, I recommend the Camlink. Definitely grab the Camlink. The dynamic range that you'll get in your shadows and the dark areas will be greater, and your picture will look better. But if you're on a budget and you want to look better than just using like a USB hookup, or cheaper than, better than a Logitech 920 or a 922, and you have that camera, like I know Chris has an 80D Canon, and so you just set that on to manual focus yourself in, and then you have this hooked up and you'll have a great picture. And then you just have to download you're gonna have to download the Canon Utility App 3, which is a great thing to download anyway if you do have a Canon. I would recommend downloading it if you were running a stream anyway, because it just allows you to change your ISO and almost anything on that camera right of a click on the computer, so you don't even have to go up and touch the screen or anything like that. So in the stream, and I have a Canon EOS R. This is my main camera that I'm using right now, and so I run the Utility App 3, and I can actually just show you this really quick here. I'll pull it in the middle of the screen right here, and you could take a look and you could see really quick. So this is it in the middle of the screen, so you can see you can check the warmth. You can go into detail pictures. You can make your contrast greater, your ISO, your f-stop. So there's a lot of things that you could do right here just to make a change on your camera right on the fly. So it's a really good thing to have if you're using it as a mainstream anyway. And so Never Call Me Again podcast says Rodecaster can be used as a MIDI switcher now. Yeah, I saw that. You can use it as a MIDI switcher, but it's still, you remember, you can use it as a MIDI switcher, but there's no separation from the music and switching the scene. It's gonna still play the music also when you switch. So you can use it as a switcher, and then you're gonna have to hit it again to stop the music, which is really awkward and not effective. And it doesn't really work good with Ecamm without downloading another software. So I don't really look at that as an option in any way. And plus, it's not gonna do what it needs to do as far as switching sources. I don't think it switches scenes, which is a little different and is not really useful to me, but we're just scratching the surface with the Rodecaster and the things that they're going to be able to do with the Rodecaster more and more. And also there's new ASIO drivers out. If you're using a Windows-based computer, those are the drivers for the Rodecaster for the Windows. So there is an update on that too, which I am going to download this weekend. I didn't want to do it before this stream because of the problems that you'll have. So, I would recommend getting some a decent capture card for cheap would be a great start, and then moving into your lighting. That's really a big thing. And I know Never Call Me Again podcast, if I'm not mistaken, you just did a video on that, and we were talking about it. Actually, I made a couple comments with you about the importance of the lighting, and I tell you, the more light you get into your cameras, and especially your smaller sensor size cameras under an inch, like a Sony ZV-1 or a GH5 or anything like that. It's the light's important, and get yourself some good lighting. I could tell you that's probably one of the most important things you can do. And I just picked up this lighting that you see in this picture. I have two of these panels just like this here, and they're attached and both face this way, and that's what I use. And then you can't see it, but I also have a ring light that's right up here in the center. And I get enough light from both sides coming this way, and I have a way to change it with a remote, brighter and lower from 0 to a 100, and I can adjust the warmth and the coolness of the lighting also. So lighting is really important from the get-go. So I really think that that's something that you got to look into first and foremost, especially if you're trying to get things started. That's for sure. So you need a recommendation on an overhead camera setup. Never Call Me Again podcast said that, and I would tell you, and that is exactly what I did recently. I had my B camera, which is my Canon M50 Mark II, and I got a C camera. The C camera is this camera from the side right here, and this is a Sony ZV-1, and I absolutely love it, and I keep it on my desk because you put up showcase mode on this thing, and then you hold something up, which I probably didn't set it before I went and turned it on today. Nope, I didn't. So there you go. So I'm unprepared today, but the fact is, this is what a live stream is all about. Sometimes you just don't jump into everything and have it all set up. And I was just like, this has showcase mode, and when you hold up something really quickly to this camera, it will focus right on it in an instant. And that's why I got it as my third camera. And I just think that is light overall, and it does a good job with what you need to do. You can carry it around in your pocket practically, take it around. It's easy to vlog with, and as a overhead camera, I would really think that would work out well for you, because it takes a nice picture for a small sensor. It's got some nice video for a small sensor, and plus you get, the 120 frames per second, and you get 4K out of that camera. So that would be my thought on that. I would look at one of those if you were looking for something. Otherwise, the next, affordable good camera over the top, is another Canon M50 or something like that would be a good too. Yeah, I'm the second person who's recommended the ZV-1 to me. Yeah, I think it's definitely a good choice. There's no doubt about it. It's effective for what it does. Having showcase mode instantly focus on whatever's in front of your hand. Now if you're using it, of course, as your main camera, you might want to have that off, because even if you go and just do this motion, it will just pick up your hand and focus right on your hand. That's how fast it is in about that. But if you're using it for overhead, I think it's fantastic. It really has got a great picture. And the thing is, if you go with anything like an Sony a6400 and up, and this ZV-1, the colors are much better than they were from previous generations. So, and they get better each time around, but really, when you go from the 6400 is when they made a big difference in the way the colors look compared to Canon. Because there's no doubt about it, like Canon looks better straight out of the box every time right now, but it gets less and less of a difference each new Sony camera that comes out. And as you get to the 6400, that's when you'll see a big difference. And the ZV-1, I mean, I've looked at the colors in this, and it looks really good for what it is. And I'm happy with it. I'm glad I got it. It's just an easy thing to usually just set up and go with it. And that's why I like it. You don't have to do too much. I'm still on a little learning curve with some of the things. Like right now, what gets me is I'm a little confused of I had all these settings in the camera last time around, and now why isn't it just picking up the settings from last time? So, or did I not? I could have vlogged with it, to be honest with you. So I maybe didn't change it. Who knows? I think I did though, and so that's why I feel like it wasn't holding the setting. I have to check. But I just ordered also a dummy battery for this ZV-1 because the dummy battery, it goes through really fast, you know, and when you're sitting here, I have a USB power bank hooked up, so it will go for a pretty long time. But I would rather have it plugged in this way. I don't really have to worry about that ever going out in general. And so that stresses me out, knowing that for some crazy reason, if it's not getting enough power, it will go out in the middle of a stream. And so, you know what happens at that point. Then when you see things starting to go crazy in your stream, you just you start getting shaken up a little bit, and you're like, ah. That's one of my new things. All right, I just figured out. So those are some of the new things that I have. So that's OBS for you. So, but how is the battery on the 6400? I mean, they're all pretty close as far as the M50 and the battery on the 6400. They're you know, they'll last you about 2 hours or so. And it just really depends what you're filming. I mean, you're filming 4K, you know how that rolls. You're going to go through the battery faster. And that's why, like, I really like to be able to carry a power bank with me, or if you're vlogging with something. I actually did a video on the ZV-1 too with a power stick. I think I have that. I have like a Ulanzi power bank stick that's a battery, and then I put the ZV-1 on top, and you can literally run the ZV-1 or an A6400 vlogging and walking around with it. You could probably run it for 6+ hours straight. So I think something like that is really nice, because then you're not like Velcroing or strapping on a battery bank, you know, like this big or something. It's just you use it. It looks like a little stick extension, and then you throw a little tripod on the bottom. Just take a look. I have a video of it in my videos. It's the ZV-1 with the Ulanzi BG6, I think it is, battery, US battery power bank grip, and that's a huge plus. You'll definitely be happy with that. And you know, when you start streaming, another thing that's important to have on your desktop is make sure you get a USB hookup at the top of your desk, a powered one, because you're always going to need to plug something in for some reason, either to charge something. So you're going to want to get something that throws out like 2 amps, and you get like 2 of those quick charger ports on there also, with like 8 USB 3 ports also, and then you can plug everything right in there. And one day maybe I'll do a little review of some of my cabling underneath here. That really took a long time to get all the cabling coming from different ways and going different ways. And even if you look on the ground over here, I still on the floor, I have a fiber a 33-foot fiber HDMI cord that I run to behind me for the camera behind me. And it has to be fiber, otherwise it won't work in every port in the ATEM Mini. So just keep that in mind too. If you're gonna go, like, you're looking for something like 30 or 50 feet, you can use a fiber HDMI cord, and then you just get an adapter for your camera so you don't have to pull it out and do the wear on the HDMI port. You just plug that in, and then you plug your full HDMI into the adapter. And that's the way to go with that, especially if you're constantly streaming all the time. You don't want the wear and tear to come on your camera port, because that goes, and then that's a little costly to fix, that's for sure. So if there's anything else that's out there that anyone has a question about, let me know. And I will go on. What is anyone using for a mic? I know Never Call Me Again. He's got a pod mic. I know that. And he has, I think you have an SMB also. So I'm using a Rode NT1 right now, and that's going to be my main mic that I'm going to be using. And I'll switch in and out with a pod mic with this also. So, because I really like the low noise floor of the Rode pod mic and this Rode NT1. It really makes a big difference. And so I've been spending some time over in OBS trying to pick apart a few things that will make my streams a little bit better. Like I explained, the video that came out today where I can pop up your comments, and I apologize for that today, how I kind of screwed up that. And then next week I'll be having the comments come up on the screen so people can see what we're talking about right on the fly. And but the little trick that I did were using OBS, where you can use your resolution at 1080p, and because StreamYard streams at 720, especially if you don't have a pro version, but even if you do, it will degrade it a bit. And that little last video I did shows you the trick in OBS and StreamYard, so you can use the comments. But also a couple other things that I been learning was the countdown timers that I've been using. I put together, and then I just did the confetti actually a couple days ago. This way, if I was online and I hit 250 subscribers on Saturday, and I was really excited about it, and I was wanting to celebrate it anyway. So I made this effect where the confetti comes in, and I was like, yeah, you guys, thank you so much for making 250 subscribers. And I was like really excited about it. And that was my way of just showing about how excited I was. And then also I did this little effect also that where you can just do like a little dance party and get a little music going if you want. So that could be fun too, you know. You can get a little bit. So I'm just trying to make things interesting for our stream so we can have some fun while we're streaming too. And so that's the idea with that stuff. Okay. So he says, yeah, Never Call Me Again podcast says pod mic, Shure SM7B. And oh yeah, right. You said you have the SM57 too, the Shure. So you have no more than what you need. You have a perfect setup for what you absolutely need right now. And that's what I'm running two of the pod mics, and I'm waiting on a Clark Technic mic booster, and that's going to be coming in hopefully soon. I've been waiting a few months. Sweetwater ordered it for me. It's on back order. And if you've never ordered anything from Sweetwater, their customer service is unbelievable. They'll stick with one guy with you who will always service you. You can call up, you can ask them questions. They call you and let you know things are coming in, and if they're coming in or when they're mailed out. Really great customer service if you've never used Sweetwater. Something like, how customer service used to be before, everything got shipped across seas, and there was a point where people used to take care of you pretty good and were concerned about having repeat business. And so when people treat you that good, you tend to go back, and that's what's really cool about it. They just treat you really good. Otherwise, if it's not Sweetwater, I'm going to buy anything through. It's a lot of times B&H Photo in New York. They're very efficient. They have great policies, great return policy. They treat you good. Their customer service is good. So they're on par with pricing on everything. So I really have no problem with using B&H Photo at all. So, so the next thing is, I just wanted to say, is anyone here ever wanting to stream? I mean, obviously you're here for the thought of wanting to stream. And at this point, what is holding you back from streaming for the first time? Being that this is my second stream, and yeah, things get messy. Don't wait for it to be perfect. I'm just telling you, especially if you're a one-man show, there's a lot of things in a stream to keep your eyes on all the time. And it's a little overwhelming. Even if you're watching me, and I apologize because this is my second stream, that I'm just here and sometimes I'm not looking at the camera as much as I should. And that's something that you learn to do more and more. But I'm like making sure everything's okay because I got stuff in front of me, off to the side, and nothing like tonight. If it was like a month or two ago, I think I would have like freaked out and said, oh my God, I'm not going to make the stream tonight 10 minutes beforehand, realizing what I did incorrect today. But I said, like, it happens. It's going to happen right now. You're going to make mistakes. Take a deep breath and just let it go. Especially for the first few streams that are going to happen, you're going to have less and less people coming on your streams. And if the people are there and they know you're new, I'm hoping that they're going to be supporting the fact that you are new and that you're trying to benefit and you're trying to give people that don't have all the answers right now, and I can help you out with the majority of the things that you may need being a beginner streamer or a YouTuber. And so I know what it takes because I'm in the thick of it right now every day. So Never Call Me Again podcast says nerves is stopping you from doing it. Don't let the nerves stop, man. I've seen your videos and your videos look great. You seem like you got your questions put together. And I know all of us, especially if you're a content creator, you're sometimes a perfectionist. You want to always I want this to be perfect. But live streaming is not like that. It's not going to be perfect. But yes, I understand you want to make it the best it can be. I get it. We all do. And I'm, listen, I could be embarrassed tonight that I didn't get the comments up like I wanted to and to run as smooth as I wanted to. Next week, I'll have that going, though, and we'll go from there. And I'll definitely say that the 5 people that are watching, 5 or 6, I'm super pumped that you are here and you're part of this and that you're watching. I mean, it means the world to me. And I hope that we can grow and learn everything together. And that's what it takes is to build a community. So, and Never Call Me Again podcast says you are doing a heck of a job. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm trying to get that whole factor of the nerves. It really isn't too bad for me, but I know how we all kind of look at things like you probably do, is you want to make sure everything is good before you go live and everyone's, you feel like everybody's watching you. And so you're on this stage, and I understand that. I get it. But it's important to just let it come and let it develop and let your people come to you and let it grow organically. Let them realize that you're here trying to help them, and you're not perfect, and it's okay that they see that. So I have a Matthew Wilson here says, can I ask you a question? It's very important. Absolutely. And if I can answer it, I will. And if I cannot, I will say I can't. So that's the idea. I want people to ask questions. And if I can't answer it, I will definitely say that I don't have that ability or I don't know what I'm talking about at that point, because everything for me is definitely a learning curve also, since I've only been streaming for about 4 months. And in that 4 months, it hasn't been a lot of times. And I've been doing YouTube, and I'm on my about 30th, I'm on my 30th or so video that I'm making. So that's really important. And we're not discussing anything that would be related to how people feel about something that could be personal or not. So, can you just, Sir Lance says, sorry if I talked about this already, but could you describe your streaming setup? Absolutely. Let me just get Sir Lance here. I'm just going to post a little picture of my streaming setup just so you have a little idea of what it looks like. So I have, from the inside out, I have two curved 24-inch monitors here, okay? And then in the middle here, you see this pole. This pole is a VESA mount for monitors. And what I did was I have the two monitors attached to it, but then I keep these two arms up here empty, and I took the VESA ends off, and then I put like a makeshift ball up here so I can mount a light if I need to, or attach a camera and then pull that over and face down. And so that is one way to make those things effective for you to use every day. And that's what I'm working on, with trying to make this whole setup be as useful as possible for me. And then I have these two lights, which are Dasny, I think they're called D50s lights on each side, and they're adjustable. I have a Canon camera in front of me, and then I have two JBL 305 speakers on stands. And most of the stuff you can see on anything on my videos. And then you have a Rodecaster Pro right here, which I'll show you off to the side, and an ATEM Mini in the middle. And I have my USB ports in the middle here too, to be useful with anything that I'm working on and plugging and charging constantly with stuff. And that's the basics of everything. And it's been working really well for most of what I'm doing. So I appreciate you. If there's anything else I could tell you a little bit more, I'm using OBS's software, and then I'm using StreamYard a lot of times also, but those are the two, the two things that I've been using, which are free. And then I do all my editing in DaVinci Resolve. So all those came, oh, thank you. The camera angles. Yes. That is, so this is what we get on here. This is the kind of stuff that I guess people come on in and put this stuff, but, that's hilarious. But, yeah, so the, okay. Hello, I'm seriously having issues with drop frames. I use OBS and stream to Facebook and YouTube at the same time. I don't know why I'm getting watch so many tutorials. Yeah, Inspirational Connection TV. Okay, so here's the thing. You're gonna first want to start with checking your, you're gonna want to check your upload speed and make sure that your service provider can definitely give you what you need to be able to stream, as far as, the speed and the frames. And you're going to have to go in and decide, since you're going to two platforms and simulcasting, and you might want to drop down to 720 at that point. So first things first, you got to check the speed, make sure that that's okay. And then you got to make sure you drop into your settings in OBS, and there's a bunch of settings in advance that actually could make some changes for your stream to run a little smoother. And there's a lot of them to check out, but some of them are like your keyframe intervals. You might want to have to 2, and that's in your output in advanced. So you'd go into your output in your settings, and then you go to advanced, and then you go into streaming, and then there'll be a key frame interval. You want to have that set to 2. You want to have your GPU set to 0, and then your max B frames set to 2. And then when you do that, it will help your stream run a little smoother. But then you're also going to have to decide how much of, how much rate you want to stream at. So maybe, I don't know what you have in the settings, but like 5,000 kilobytes is usually good to go. You might want to drop it down, and you're going to have to figure out where it takes you as far as you're going to have to play with the settings and see, because being that everybody's on also the internet all the time, it is definitely going to affect your upload and download speed. Right now, I'm supposed to be getting like 30 meg upstream, and I'm getting like 9 right now. I tested it before I came on. And so, you know, so if you don't pay attention to that, sometimes you get caught in, you start getting drop frames, and it just sucks that that happens. Then Matthew Wilson, my brother has a YouTube channel called Neargar. It isn't very appropriate for. What's your advice for making your channel for everyone? What is it? What is it? That's making your channel appropriate for everyone. You'll never make a channel appropriate for everyone. It's something that you have to decide what you want to do in the content that you want to put out. And if it's not appropriate for everyone, then I guess you're killing yourself with having the potential to not have the amount of people that you want watching your stream. So you make and choose your own ideas of whether or not you want to have people watch your stream or not. And if most people don't, then you won't get, the watch time. So there you go, if you're into that. So what else we got here? What is your advice on streaming? Okay, so I have Tony Italia. What's your advice on streaming with any e-car material? Tony, I wish I knew what you were talking about. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about here. So I wouldn't be able to help you unless I knew what it was. That's for sure. So, what else do we have here? Maybe I should do 720. I do 1080 to YouTube and 720 to Facebook. Well, you want to do 720 to Facebook, that's for sure. Inspirational Connection TV is saying. So listen, here's the thing, right? So if your picture isn't coming in and you're getting drop frames, I would rather watch somebody in 720 and not have any drop frames and have good audio than having a 1080p picture with drop frames, right? So that would be definitely the first thing that I would think about doing, would be just make sure that your stream flows first. And that's the most important thing, and that your audio is good. No one's going to complain if you have 720 video and you have good audio. And then there are plenty of people on here that are not in areas that have adequate streaming services. I live in a pretty, metropolitan area. And like I just said, I'm supposed to get about 35 megs upstream right now. I'm getting 9. So my download is supposed to be 300 and I'm getting 240 right now. So it is what it is. When everyone is home as of late, and the internet definitely has its areas where it slows down and it affects everybody. So no matter what you're paying, obviously. So I would try that and see how that flows for you. I would just drop it down to 720 for both. You have nothing to lose. You're still getting your content across and you're still doing what's most important. So, Aaron, what's up? There's my Jeep guy and my buddy from YouTube. Yep, he stopped in to say hi. I really appreciate that. Sorry I don't have the comments popping up on here tonight, guys. I will have that next week. It was my mess up and my fault, and I will make up for it next week, I promise. And then we'll get a little dance party on, hopefully, too, with some good dance music and pump the air. Yes, Sir Lance is... I'm using an ATEM Mini. That's what this is. It's a switcher, and it gives me the ability to switch through 4 different scenes, and it also works like this too. So if I go into one scene, I could pop myself into the scene and then talk about what we're talking about in the corner. So I can go and put myself in any of these corners and then just discuss what I got on the screen. And so I have one of these just hooked up to my my number one display. And so I can show that easily by just going right to my number one display, and it will just show what's on the screen. And I like that. I like that thought of just being able to show what's on my screen really quick. It makes it easy if I'm showing something or discussing something. And the A10 Mini, like I said, if it's brand new, it's like $300, and you have that ability to not have to worry about a capture card, okay? Because otherwise you would be using 4 capture cards, or you would be using a 4 cam links, which are $100 each anyway. So that really makes a lot of sense, right? So if you could pick up an A10 Mini, I would recommend it. But just remember, the A10 Mini is only going to stream in 1080p. But this is 1080p, guys. I mean, if you have a good lens and a good camera, I think it looks great. I mean, I don't have anybody complaining. I actually have people saying that the picture looks great. So that's the thing, you know. It's as long as you got a great lens and you're streaming and you're not degraded, 1080p looks fantastic. I mean, there's no problem with it. So don't think that you need to stream it 4K. No one wants to do that anyway. I mean, that's you could go years before you would even have to think about that. You literally just could. I don't plan on doing it. You wait till you see the size of the files that you have to get. Wait till you see that. Put that stuff into your editing and how much of a bear it can be for most people's computers. And I have a really good computer. I built it myself. So, but I mean, you put that in a computer that's a couple years old, or just a laptop is not going to be as powerful as a desktop. You're going to be fighting over that. So don't be afraid to have 1080p. A good 1080p, I think, looks fantastic. Sirland says, yeah, the picture quality looks very good. I appreciate that. Thank you. And just to let you know, I have this is a Canon 24 through 70 millimeter zoom on here, and I'm at about 28 on this, so I can even go wider, or I could bring it in a little bit, and I have it set at f2.8 right now. And I think it really gives a great picture. And then also, like I said, the lighting is important. So you get your lighting down and you get your camera down, you're going to have a fantastic looking picture. And it doesn't have to be this expensive either. Like I said, I'm all about helping people get started from new and not wanting to have to spend a ton of money to get started, because your whole message is going to be way more important than looking like top notch. Nobody wants like someone looking, cringy, but also if you're looking pretty good and you just have a Logitech camera and your lighting is on point and you have some effect lighting behind you to make things look decent, and you have your webcam set up with the white balance correct, which nobody seems to do enough, you'll have a really good picture. And it's enough for you to, get your content out and for people to watch it and be satisfied. So if I'm wrong, let me know what you think in the comments. Sir Lance says, for the main lights, are they adjustable by app? Wondering if the convenience is worth having or not, or whether it's just the main lights initially and you leave them the same setting each time. So I don't leave them the same setting each time because I have a window right in front of me, as you can see right here. So I actually have a diffuser in the window because I have light coming in this way that a lot of times washes me out here. So I put the diffuser to just block that. And then these lights here, the panels, are adjustable with this remote. So I can turn this on or off, and I'll just show you real quick. I'll put on one of these lights here. And I have this light over here going right now. I'll just drop that down. Let me see. And I want to go to the other light. There. So I have this light that you can see in the camera going up, up, up. Now you can see how bright this gets. It's only at 46%. Watch this. I can keep going, keep going, keep going, look at how bright this thing is getting, right? And I'm just sitting here. And then I can adjust the color temperature too. I have the Kelvin unit set to 4600 right now. And so I sit here and I make my adjustments to where I like, and then I leave it. So look how bright I am, right? And I could just drop this down, and that's it. So, and this unit is clamped. These units are clamped onto my desk. Here's the little trick though with this lighting is they only go about 24 inches high. And if you have a 27-inch monitor, it's not enough. But I have a little trick that I use, and I put these little extenders that give me another foot, and those little extenders that clamp right on in like 30 seconds. It is no sweat to put them on. I'll let you know if you seriously want to know about it. And it just goes right on. They cost $12 each. And so I have a lot of people that don't like, they like these lights. The Dazzne, I think they're called D50s. It's DAZZNE. They work really well. They're very happy with them. You have to make sure you just learn how to use this remote properly and shut off your lights all the time because they're 2.4 gig. So you're constantly getting interference if you just leave them on and shut them off with the remote. You could walk back in like in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock and one of them is like full blast. They've never gone out in a stream ever. But what happens is when you just shut them off by the remote instead of the switch in the back, then they just end up going on by themselves, which is crazy. So that's one thing here. Aaron, what are you using for RGB backlighting? Okay, that's a good question, Aaron. So right on the ground here, okay, you could see them on the ground. I got one there, one down here, and one on the other side. And they're outdoor lights for RGB. They cost, I think, about $35 for the pair. And then you get a little app that goes on your phone, and then you can just change the lights to any color that you want. They're really easy. They don't get too hot. And I have not had a problem with them since I bought them. So I would definitely, if you're looking for a specific brand name, drop me an email from my YouTube and I will send you a link to that. I will send you a link to those so you know. By the way, I'm not the Jeep. Oh, okay. Got you. You're not the Jeep guy. Okay, got you. Just a subscriber. Okay, thank you. Well, thank you for being a subscriber. I really appreciate that. I'm more than excited of how the channel is growing, and just jumping on here and having 7-9 people jump on here and we can talk about tech is awesome. It's just awesome. I love it. So headphones. What headphones are you using? You know what? They're this. What brand? These are actually a couple year old. They're like the older ones. They're the Steel series. I forget. Listen, I try not to spend a ton of money. These are the older model ones. And I want to say that these are like probably 2 years of the older model Steel series. Cause I just heard a lot of good things with them being comfortable. So that's why I got them. Have you had a chance to compare the Sigma 24 1.4 with the 7mm lens that you're using now? Curious, which one might look better at 24? Sir Lance, that's who asked me that question. And that is a fantastic question. And I will tell you right now, the Sigma 24 1.4 is an outstanding lens. Every Art Series lens that's put out by Sigma, if they were around when I had bought this Canon lens, which I've had this Canon lens now for over 6 years. So if I could have got the 24 to 70 Sigma, I would have got that because I want to have that flexibility of making the adjustments and zooming in and out. That's what I prefer to have because I don't always want to be 24 with wide. I could show, let me just show you. I could show you what 24 wide. Okay. So that's 24 wide right now. And as you can see, it like really shows a lot of the room. I mean, It's maybe a little wider than I want it to be, even. So I don't know. I usually keep it on about 28 most of the time. I usually keep it on 28 or 30 millimeters, something like that. But that 24, if you're happy with that being wide open, and you don't mind the width you're getting, it's an outstanding lens. I would say absolutely get that. Absolutely get that. Alex Jameson came to see what's going on. Friend recommended I check out the stream. Wow, Alex, thanks for stopping in. That's awesome. I'm so happy to have you. It's a stream that I started last week, and just to get you up to date, there's no stupid questions here. There's no feeling like, is it a silly question to ask? Everything is new here. If I can't answer it, I'm not going to tell you that I can. And I want us to grow as a community, and I'm here just to help us stream and all be YouTubers and start as YouTubers and build a community. So if you're not a subscriber, I recommend that you subscribe, and I want to see you grow. So I'm going to follow you, you follow me. And I want to meet here every Thursday. That's my plan, for us to meet here and grow and talk about our growth and watch each other and grow on YouTube. And then we come back a couple of years from now and say those things like, remember when we had 100, and remember when we had 200 subscribers, and then we're here succeeding. So that's my goal for us as a small YouTube community. So Sir Lance, I love your questions, by the way, Sir Lance. Yeah, 24 feels a bit too wide. 28 definitely looks better. So, okay, so you feel my vibe. But listen then. Then maybe you want to get the Sigma 24 through to 70. 2.8 gives you a nice, decent blurry background. I'm at 2.8 right now. So it's definitely a great look. And then you have that versatility to zoom in a little bit, because it gives you a different look. And that's what I like. It just, you can go into, sometimes I go into 35, and then I sometimes come out to 28, and it just gives it a different look. It focuses in things a little bit different. And so you may want to look at that for a chance. But I know, like, there are many YouTubers out that love the 24, but I also like, if I'm going to, if you're going to spend some money, and you're going to, the Sigma lens is not cheap to begin with. And I know that the 24 to 70 is a little more expensive, but you could probably find a good deal on one, and it'd be worth it, a ton worth it. Alex, yo, I got a new subscriber. Alex Jameson in the house. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much, man. That is awesome. I love it. Welcome to the community, and welcome to coming in and being part of everything. I really appreciate that. And anyone who's subscribed to help us grow as a community, that's what we're here for, man. I just started this myself, and I'm finally been wanting to do YouTube. I've been wanting to be a YouTuber for like 12 years. It was initially going to be about motorcycles, and motorcycles didn't work out, and so now I'm doing tech, which I absolutely love. And what I'm not knowing, I'm trying to learn, and I'm also learning a ton moving forward along the way. And I'm all about us growing and not spending and wasting money, because we all know, starting out on YouTube, you're not making the money, and you're trying to get the best look, and you're not wanting to, there's nothing coming in, and you got to be smart about what you put out. And so I'm all about us trying to make those accomplishments too. And I know that there'll be different level people here. And if that's the case, then, I do have some experience in using the Rodecaster, the ATEM Mini, Camlink stuff. I use OBS straight through, but maybe by next year I might be using vMix. That could be in the possibility. But I thank you, Alex, for subscribing. So what time we got? Wow, our stream is almost over. I am all for learning and growing as a community. That's awesome. That's the idea, man. I think that not enough people get that. It's not always about you can't just go in and think that YouTube, you're by yourself, because there is a whole community out there of people. And if you're in a niche that you got to get into, and you're learning from people and they're seeing you every day and every week, then you have to make those friendships with those people. You have to put yourself out there, and you get on these streams and you start talking with people. And that's just an incredible thing that we make all together. Get out of here. Get out. Inspirational Connection TV, subscribed. That is awesome. We got to throw confetti again. No way, man. We are starting our community right here. Thank you. She said, I think it's inspirational. I'm trying to see your picture, and I hope she's a she. She looks like a she in the picture, but I can't see it. It's small, and I don't even have my good glasses on. But she said that she subscribed, and you're awesome. Thank you so much. That means so much to me. That means so much to me, because all I want to do is get on here and help other people and try to do the best that I can, and just grow together, like give out. And I'm not saying I know everything. Samantha, okay, there you go. It's hard to see the little picture of what people look like by any means, but everybody's welcome here, and everybody is welcome to ask any question. I don't care how dumb they think it might be. It's not, because I'm telling you right now, when you get into this, there's going to be so many things you learn all at once. It's very overwhelming sometimes. And so there are no silly questions. So please ask anything as silly as you think it may be. It's not to me. It's not to me at all. So Sir Lance said, yeah, I like the idea of the versatility as well. Do you think the glass on the Sigma 24 through 70 would be better than the glass on the Canon 24? The Sigma lens is about $800 cheaper, but it's a lot newer. From my experience and what I know and what I see, I would absolutely tell you to buy the Sigma. You can look at the reviews. They're outstanding. And a lot of people say that the glass is absolutely on par. They don't even say it's close, it's somewhat better, the picture quality. They say it's equal. So if I were you, I would absolutely have no problem spending the money on the Sigma. Like I said, if I could do it all over again and that art lens was out, I would have bought it. We're going back to 2015. I bought this. It's an EF mount, and I've been using it, and it's been absolutely flawless, and it's sharp. It takes great pictures at 2.8. It's a great, lens that cost me, I think, when I bought it new, it was like $1,700. And my wife used it for a lot of years for photography. And then I grabbed it when I picked up an EOS R, because before this I had a 5D Mark III, and that was, senseless for video. It just didn't do what I needed it to do by any means. So Alex Jameson, NC Map brought me to your channel. Glad I came. At NC Map. I don't know if I know who that is off the bat. If they're a subscriber, a lot of times, like I have so many new people, by the way, too, that it's just, to be honest with you, it's hard to keep track of where everybody comes in. And then plus on top of that, I can't see every subscriber. And so if people don't allow me to see them, I just know that someone subscribed. But if I see you, then that's awesome. And of course, if you come here and you ask some questions and you're part of this community and we're talking and we're getting to know each other, that's where the magic happens. I think we're going to have a great time, and we could just come on in here and have some fun on Thursdays. So Sir Lance, wow, thank you, brother. That's awesome advice about the Sigma. I didn't even realize that it was an option until the stream. It's on my radar now. You just gave me chills, Sir Lance. Like, because that's, if I didn't know, I'd just say, listen, I don't know. But that is something I do know, just because, I bought this lens and I know what comes out. I do follow all the lenses that are out, and I follow a lot of the new cameras that are out. And so I usually can give some decent advice about most of the stuff. And most of it is going to refer to video. But, picture taking is not my absolute forte, but, I can pretty much give a decent amount of advice on most cameras. So absolutely, Sir Lance, I appreciate you coming in, and That's awesome that you stopped in, and I would love to see you guys every Thursday, and let's just grow this community and let's keep on learning. And if I can't answer something and you can in the chat, then I would absolutely love that too. That's fine. We can all have opinions and then talk about whether or not those things would work for somebody. I got Patrick Chang. Hello, you made it. I love it. Hello there. Just saying hi. I appreciate you stopping in. Patrick and I are actually doing a 30-day challenge together for Veda, and no, for Leda, for live streaming every day in April. We're up to the challenge of live streaming every day, and he's part of the group, and we met there. So Patrick, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you saying hi tonight. Alex Jameson. Okay. All right. So we went an hour, but listen, if someone's on here and they want to jump on and ask something here, let me see. Aaron, Sir Lance, former Canon user here. My glass used to be L-line. After I've dropped my glass. Okay. So after I've tried the 70 to 200 2.8 Sigma, never came back. Go Sigma with ease. You'll love it. Okay. So Aaron came in here and he's telling Sir Lance, and plus you guys can come back in. I'm gonna, I let the stream come back up and the chat will flow, so you can go in there and check and see what it's all about. But he's saying that this Sigma lenses are absolutely perfect, and that's what everybody says. Everybody says the same exact thing. So you're gonna get a super great quality lens for the same situation that the Canon would do. It will be absolutely perfect for you, the Sigma lens. And Patrick Chang says, yes, Leda, the Veda is Doc Rock's thing, right? Doc Rock is doing the Veda, the video every day. I saw that too. I wasn't really up for that because doing the video every day, which is useful, but if you got to put your content out on your YouTube page, it can be very challenging to have something that's going to be quality every day. Whereas if you're live streaming every day and you have a challenge and we do that challenge, I like that a lot better. So Sir Lance says, wow, thanks, Aaron. Super encouraging to hear. Thank you. Yeah. And that's what's fantastic, right? We come in here and people have experience in using these lenses, and we all have some opinions, and all you do is just take that information, digest, and then look from there. I mean, right off the bat, you're getting people that are saying that the feedback is incredible with the Sigma, and that's, that goes all the way around. Actually, one of my next lenses may be I'm in the same situation as Sir Lance, but with a crop sensor. I was wondering if I should go the Sigma 16 mil on my Canon M50 Mark II, or should I save up a little more? And then I'm thinking about going with the 1.8 Sigma. I believe it's an 18 to 35. And I'm thinking I'm going to go that route, because then that will give that M50, just like you're saying, and I'm saying, that versatility with the crop sensor that pretty much gives that 24 to 70 range with the 18 to 35. So I'm in the same boat, but on a crop sensor. Inspirational Connection TV says, I have the M50 Mark II. What's the best setup for using it as my webcam? I have it on the USB and the EOS R utility. That's a fantastic question, and I'm glad you asked it. So you're using that whole setup as far as using the USB, which is fine, but for a very cheap amount of money, which is if you go to my YouTube page, you're going to see a capture card video comparing this particular capture card, which cost right about $15 now. I made the video back in, I believe, like August, and this capture card versus a Camlink, which is $100. And I think you can get this for about $15 now on Amazon. So check out my YouTube page. They compare them. And you're going to get a better video quality with that capture card, which is super easy to use, because all you're going to do, instead of using, well, what I would do, and I'll explain this in a second, is that you can still use your USB hookup and pull up the Utility App 3, Canon Utility App 3, and that lets you have control over your camera. That app comes up, you can adjust your ISO, you can adjust your shutter speed, you can adjust your contrast, you can adjust the coolness in the picture. So right on the fly, which I absolutely think is fantastic. And then you're just going to get an HDMI to an HDMI micro, okay? Which if you watch my latest video on the Canon M50 Mark II, which was just done about a month ago, you'll see that in my YouTube. At the end, it talks about what you need for the regular M50, and it's the same situation. You're going to need a capture card, and then you're going to plug an HDMI to an HDMI micro. And then you will get the resolution that comes out of this. So this is going to give you a 1080p picture at 30 frames per second, and then you will have a much better resolution picture than you would get out of your Canon Mark II. So I hope that helps. And if you have any other questions, leave the question in any of the Canon M50 video, and I always answer fairly quickly to any of those questions in there. Great stream tonight. Thanks. Never Call Me Again podcast. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you stopping in. It means the world to me. And when you're on, I'm there. So you let me know. And if I'm not working, I'm there. So I would love to see you do your first stream and be part of it. Absolutely. And Aaron says, I have the 16 millimeter 1.4 Sigma for crop sensor. Crazy good for the price. Aaron, what do you have that for? You have that for a Sony, or do you have that for or for the M50? I'm just curious to see. I love it too. I mean, there's not anyone that doesn't say it's not bad. Right. So Patrick Chang, and he's exactly right. Exactly to the T. The Canon Utility app only gives you a 576p picture. So just a little above the 480p. So the picture quality that you'll get from this little $15 capture card is going to be tons better. Inspirational Connection. I'll check it out. Thanks. Listen, Inspirational Connection. If you have any problems, you know that you can also, I have my email in my YouTube, and even just drop a comment in the M50 and I'll help you out. It is really simple. Don't overthink it. And if I'm on next week also on Thursday at 9 o'clock, we can go over it. If you tell me you want to go over it step by step, we can go over it step by step. And it's, if you're already using your USB, then you're just going to go and have an HDMI cable. And if you check my video, I put the links to all that stuff too. So there are links to cables that work. There is link to the Utility app also. And because the only difference with streaming with an older Canon M50 and the current M50 is the clean HDMI out is going to allow the autofocus to work. So if you put that on just manual autofocus on a regular M50, then you'll be able to do a stream right there with your Canon M50 regular stream, and you're not going to get your autofocus. But if you don't move around, and I've told this a lot of times, then you don't have anything to worry about as far as the focus going in and out too much at all, you know. But I did it because I wanted to have that ability to have a camera that adjusts with the autofocus. Patrick Chang, I got to run, my man. Hope you join you more on Thursdays. Thank you so much. I would love to have you join more on Thursdays, and I appreciate you stopping in. I'm a little overtime, but I don't care because I have no problem if there is a question we don't finish out on perfect time. That is not an issue. I'd rather answer a couple questions than anyone just run out. Aaron says he's got that Sigma 1.4 on the Sony. Okay, so like I said, I was thinking about getting the 1.4 Sigma for my Canon M50 Mark II, but I think I'm going to save up more money, and down the road, I don't need it right away, but I think I'm not sure, but I think I'm probably going to go the 18 to 35 Sigma 1.8 for the Canon. That's what I think. Right now I have a 22 millimeter on this. This is what this picture is right here. It's an f2 22 mil Canon, and it's a nice picture. It's equivalent to a full size 35. So that's the picture it gives you, and it's not a bad picture by any means. It's not as sharp as the 16 by any means. Also, that 16 mil is a nice look, that's for sure. Okay, well, if I don't have any questions, really, I'm probably gonna jet out. If you didn't subscribe at all and you feel like you want to after this stream and you want to join us on every Thursday to talk about some tech stuff, and like I said, we're all about, there's no embarrassing questions, and it's all about us learning and growing together, and even stuff about YouTube. I always would love to talk to people about how they set up their titles and their tags, and how much time do they spend on it. Do they use TubeBuddy? Do you use vidIQ? All those types of things. Are you making content right now? Like all these things I think we can get into and slowly grow this community and come together more and more. So that's definitely a great thing to do. And never call me again. Listen, we should collaborate. I don't have a problem with that at any time. So we can make that happen for sure. Appreciate all the great tech advice. Super helpful, Sir Lance. Absolutely, and it's been a delight to answer your questions, and I look forward to seeing you again. And let us know what you get, and let us know how much you love it, and what you're using it for, and how the picture's been or the video. It'll be awesome to really see how much you love it. Aaron says, your image quality is great. I'll send you an email for the information about those RGB lights. Yeah, if you want to drop me an email, I'll drop you a link in there and let you know about those RGB lights, exactly which ones. They have worked flawlessly for me. The app has worked flawlessly every time, and I really like them. And they're, for the money, I think they're a steal. So yeah, just send me that, and just give me a day, if anything, and I'll get you that link out. Okay, well, wow. This has been fantastic. I'm telling you right now, this has been a great night, a great stream. We deserve more confetti, and we might deserve the rainbow at the same time, because this has been awesome, and I'm like super psyched that we can spend tonight all enjoying and having a great time together, and growing our community like I really kind of thought that we could, and slowly improving on what we can talk about and the information. And I'm super psyched to keep on taking this path with all of you. And if it wasn't for the people coming in here and asking the questions, it wouldn't happen, because otherwise I'd be sitting here going over stuff by myself. So you guys are the key to the stream. You are absolutely the key, and I thank you so much. I don't know if my sincerity comes across as deeply as I feel, but I'm telling you right now, this makes my heart happy. So thanks for coming in. I'll see you soon, and I hope to see you guys next Thursday at 9 o'clock. Have a great night and have a great weekend. Talk to you soon.